Lapras!
Hello and welcome back to my Pokemon Horizons review series. Today we are reviewing episode 31. Let's get started and I hope you enjoy. So we are finally getting back into some juicy plot. I really loved how this episode kicked off. We get these sailors who are lost in this thick fog, but all of a sudden this Lapras arrives to guide them to safety by singing and shining. It was a really cool way to introduce this next hero Pokemon, but things aren't quite as they seem. We then catch up with the Vault Tacklers as they have heard about these sightings of Lapras, and Diana explains a bit more about it and that it could actually be one of the 6 heroes. So it's time to hunt this thing down. Not a majorly eventful episode, but it had some really cool vibes and we're at least moving the plot forward. The Vault Tacklers start searching by sea, and I loved how the aircraft reverts back to a plain old boat here and starts gliding through the waters. And Ludlow even mentions, well, it was a boat originally. This mysterious fog comes in again, and I love the tension being built up here. I thought the tone was captured really well. Being in the middle of the ocean and not being able to see a thing can be pretty scary. All of a sudden an Ambipom and a Toadstool creep up on board and start trying to steal some food. I guess the life of a ping pong champion just didn't pay the bills for Ambipom. It was cool to see a Toadstool, but honestly not a massive fan of this Pokemon. They could have gone with any other Paldea Pokemon and I would have been happier. They escaped the ship, but it's kind of a mystery because how the hell are these forest Pokemon just out here on the water and why are they trying to steal food? Freed as usual was great in this episode. He seems to have figured out what's going on. He makes a plan and tells everyone their roles. Molly and Murdoch set a bunch of food out to bait these Pokemon back, and then he calls down the battlefield and tells Captain Pikachu that his name isn't just for show. And they do a rising Volt Tackle into the air to scope out ahead. This was so cool and such a freed thing to do. They find a bunch of Pokemon just sitting on a giant Wailord, and these are obviously this gang of Pokemon that are trying to steal the food, luring travellers in from the fog just to steal the food. And that was what them crates that we saw floating from the sailors at the start of the episode was. It was a pretty cool twist. I could see it coming, but I liked how things started to come together. And then the episode ends with the reveal of Lapras, and this thing has been through some rough times. Its shell has these really rough edges, it's got a giant scar on its face. My boy is struggling, but again, really cool. I can't wait to see what this Pokemon's deal is. So I thought this episode was pretty solid, nothing crazy. It was a really slow episode, but this is so much better than what we've been getting. This was a nice little mystery setup, and the question asked, why is Lapras helping these Pokemon steal food? I feel like it's going to be a bigger thing, like it's helping an injured flock of Lapras that were hurt by Rayquaza or something. Heck, maybe it even got its scar from Rayquaza. That would be really cool. This episode just makes me look forward to what's to come, and that's what Horizons is so good at doing, but it hasn't really been doing that recently. So all in all, this one was pretty positive, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Let me know what you thought. What is your rating? Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.